Well, I've always done a lot of work in the community. Grew up, my dad was a pastor growing up, and always had myself and my brothers and sisters really heavily involved in the community. I've been pastoring myself now for about the past 9 years, and I'm a pastor of a church in Warren. It's about 15 or 20 minutes away from here. And of course, with that work comes a lot of work in the community. We do homeless shelters and feed the hungry and things of that nature. So it's quite a undertaking and takes up quite a bit of my time doing, but it's something I'm extremely passionate about. I love doing. If I'm not here, generally that's what I'm doing. We're part of what's called, the acronym is MCREST. It's Macomb County Rotational Emergency Shelter. And what it does is it takes a group of men and we house them for a year. They spend a week in a different church for 52 weeks. So there's 52 churches in the county that each take a week to house these men, so they have somewhere to live and take showers and food for a solid year. And then there's programs to help them get reinitiated into the workforce and things of that nature. So that's one of the programs that I'm very passionate about and very excited about. And it's actually, when I first started doing it, was one of the things that kind of drove me to leave the company that I was working at the time. There was a gap between when I left there and when I came to Populus Group of about a year and a half, where I worked with one of my brothers, part-time, barely making ends meet, scraping by, just so I could still do what I was passionate about. And every now and then, Bobby would call me and I'd talk about what I was doing and how I was spending my time. And then he called me one day about an opportunity here. He was putting together an immigration program and wanted to know if I'd be a part. And my exact response to him is, "Hey, Bobby, I don't know anything about immigration." And his response to me verbatim was, "Don't worry about that. We'll figure it out when you get here." And from what I'd known about Bobby and kind of his demeanor and our interactions prior to that, I just figured, hey, it's a place, he knows me, he knows what I'm about, it's worth a shot. Let me head over there and kind of see what happens. And that trust was huge for me. And I tell everybody that I talk to and they ask me, why do you stay at Populus Group? I've been here almost 10 years now. What's keeping you here? And without fail, I tell them the trust that Populus Group has placed in me, that's allowed me to kind of facilitate having a life and passions and a very robust life outside of Populus Group. And Populus Group has not only not tolerated it, but they've celebrated it. I think that's been the biggest thing for me is I've been places where they just kind of tolerated it. But Populus Group has always been so supportive and celebrated what I do. Not everybody here believes the same thing that I believe, but I've never been a place that has respected who I am and what I do more than Populus Group.